Well, I thought it might be fun for us to get together at the tail end of Women's History Month and reflect on our first years at Spencer because we've all been here now a little bit over a year. Megan, you've been here the longest. You're here about a year and a half now, and so I'm curious to just hear what you've experienced working with Spencer so far this year and reflect a little bit on it. And Rachel, happy 1 year. You're the newest 1 year
Thank
celebration
you.
staff member. You joined the Spencer team as our new program manager after the beloved Angela Sabatino, who retired. Hi, Angela, if you're watching. She retired after 33 years with Spencer, which is that's incredible. So as a young professional woman who's starting off her career journey, how has this first year been for you?
Yeah, it's been an amazing year, all things considered. You both know I joined the team basically 7 days before we all shut down for COVID. And so I'm just really grateful that work has been such a bright spot in this year. And I couldn't have hoped to be working with a better team. And in the spirit of Women's History Month, I think one of the pieces that has been so formative is being surrounded by women leaders with the organization. So from the amazing Angela, who is my predecessor, who I was able to overlap with and learn all things both Spencer and life from for a number of months before her retirement. And to our immediate past chairperson, Mariah Propus, and our current chair, Robin Roeder, who both served as just really incredible mentors and advisors to the organization and to me personally over the past year. And then to the many other professional women who sit on Spencer's board and have really lended their expertise to the foundation over the past year and in the past and going forward as well. It's just really inspiring and frankly exciting to work with and learn from so many dedicated and talented professionals who happen to be women. And, you know, as we all know in this room, it's just intrinsically inspiring to be able to see yourself in your role models. And the reality of the professional world is that there is a lack of women and non-binary folks in higher leadership positions in all industries, including the insurance industry. So all that to say, I feel all the more grateful to be able to work with and be surrounded by so many amazing women at Spencer, including the two I'm talking to right now, who just demonstrate daily that the sky is really the limit on what's possible. I feel super lucky. Christina, what about you? Have you worked with many women in leadership roles throughout your career so far?
Yes, and thank you. I have. I've actually been very lucky in that sense. Kind of the outlier in my career journey is that I've only ever had female supervisors and bosses, and I've worked with mainly female staffs. So I know that's unfortunately not the norm, but so I have been very lucky to work with a lot of women in leadership roles. And Rachel, like you said, to be able to see yourself so easily in higher executive roles, and just for that to be easily attainable or something that's easy to say like, oh, I could end up there. I think that's really great and so important, right? Representation matters in all forms because you should be able to see yourself getting to whatever place you want to get to within the workplace or other areas of your life. So I have been very, very lucky to work with a lot of women in leadership roles, and same here, you know, working with the female staff and having another female boss who's so great. It's nice. I'm very lucky. I'm very happy to have that experience. Megan, you've worked in the insurance industry now for quite some time before becoming Spencer's executive director and our lovely boss. Have you noticed progress in gender diversity over the past 2 decades that you've been in the industry?
Well, firstly, thank you both for the kind words. But yeah, to answer the question about progress and gender diversity, The short answer is yes, but I still feel like there's a lot more to be done. I started out as a property risk engineer in the industry, and at that time I was one of 3 women in a 40-person training cohort. So I think those numbers have improved a bit since then. That was back in 2003, but I still don't think those numbers would be at 50-50 today. So still more work to be done kind of on that training side, especially for the more technical roles. And then on the leadership side as well, we're seeing more female leadership in companies, but if you look at most of the large broker companies and insurance companies, the CEOs are more or less still white men, right? So my hope there is that on the other end of the pipeline, those leaders are really looking at their succession planning and their talent pipeline and filling it with as much diverse talent as possible.
Yeah, that is the goal, right? And how do you see Spencer helping within these inequities, within the industry for the future?
Yeah, for sure. So, Spencer is focused on the future, right? We're looking at the students and the talent coming in. And from what I'm seeing, the future really is as diverse as it is bright. So it's a completely different picture of incoming talent. In terms of gender diversity specifically, Spencer is administering several scholarships that are earmarked explicitly for people who identify as female. We also this year revamped our application process so that the application grading is blind, meaning that our graders don't know if the applicant is male or female or non-binary. We don't know their race or their ethnicity. And the graders also don't even know the person's name, right? Because you can kind of gather a lot of unconscious information just by knowing someone's name. So we're really tried to revamp the application to eliminate as much unconscious bias in the review process as possible.
That's great. And it's nice to see, even in just the last year, how many diversity focused scholarships that we've created and partnerships with NYCAIW to create our female scholarship. It's a great thing, and it's exciting to see it keep expanding and growing. So, I mean, I think we have such a great team, and Spencer is really trying to make a difference, I think, within the industry. So I'm so happy to work with you both. You're the best. Happy Women's History Month, everyone.
Happy Women's History Month.
Thank you both so much. I love working with you as well, and happy Women's History Month, everyone.